This was the first day all season that I've been glued to my phone, refreshing my fantasy football matchups. Y'all know, typically, I'm in so many leagues. I just enjoy the games. I just track what's going on. It was stressful, a little bit bittersweet. We had some things go our way. A lot of things did not. But let's go ahead. Let's recap every game from today, starting off with the Jets here. Jets offense did absolutely nothing. Yeah, you had Zach Wilson leaving the game early. Benched, injury, tomato, does not matter. Wilson remains the worst quarterback in the NFL. Trevor Siemian may give him a run for his money coming in. Really, nobody was viable here. If you wanted to look at the running back snaps, yeah, Breece Hall did split the back. I don't even know if we can take anything away. The game was a blowout. This wasn't a football game. Going over to Miami, you have Mostert, Achane splitting. Mostert comes away with the touchdowns. When Achane's fully out there, I think you'd be more excited about playing him next week. Waddle dominates with no Tyreek. When Tyreek comes back in, Waddle will be going back to that more volatile type role. Yeah, not a lot to talk about with how bad this game was overall. Now, going over to the Texans game, big surprise. I just penciled up Tennessee Titans to win this. Texans walk away. The main storyline is Dameon Pierce is absolutely nothing. Devin Singletary is absolutely everything, which is weird because 2 weeks ago, they gave us the head fake going back to Dameon Pierce. Nope. The guy's Singletary. Singletary has 26 carries, 121 rushing yards in this game. He has 4 receptions, 49 receiving yards. Could have been a much bigger game as well. He had a call at the very end, a holding call where Singletary could have had like a 30-yard rushing touchdown, which would have been massive for us in a particular league. Noah Brown is great here with no Nico Collins. I'm assuming we have CJ Stroud back next week. Devin Singletary will be a must-start guy. Noah Brown will be a must-start guy if you have no Collins. Now, the Titans, on the other hand, you have Derrick Henry with 16 carries for 9 rushing yards. Yes, that is a real stat line. Blame it on Henry, blame it on the offensive line. Doesn't freaking matter. Absolutely garbage. Really, this entire team is unable to move the ball down the field. Levis doesn't look great either. I mean, just really tough spot here to see the Titans just completely implode. I don't know if you can be excited about starting any of these guys going forward. Now, going over to the Bucks, I mean, whatever the opposite of an implosion is, I guess it's an explosion. Yeah, that's what the Bucks did. Here, Rachaad White continues to dominate. White does see 50 out of 62 snaps. Nothing's different. Really, the only thing to look at is Chris Godwin blows up. With Chris Godwin, 12 targets, 155 receiving yards, 10 receptions. Godwin's had the target volume all season. We've been talking about this over and over again. It's just weird that Evans is the only one here that scores touchdowns and Godwin is allergic to the end zone. But yeah, Evans still a must-start guy. White still a must-start guy. Godwin is still a borderline play depending on your team and injuries. But yeah, I'm not super excited about running out there to play Baker going forward, even though Baker, one hell of a game. Now, with the Packers side of things, I was actually excited to start Aaron Jones once A.J. Dillon was ruled out. I thought, oh, no Dillon, fire up Jones. And yeah, we could not have been more wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Jones splits this backfield with Patrick Taylor. You get a little bit of Kenyon Drake mixed in. But yeah, Aaron Jones absolutely abysmal with the efficiency. He does have 4 targets out of the backfield. I'm not starting Aaron Jones going forward. I mean, the receivers here, Reed gets there with the touchdown, leads the team with 8 targets. Really, Reed's the only guy that you would be looking at. And now going over to the Giants game, Tommy DeVito comes back down to earth in a big-time way. Saquon Barkley has fewer touches and fewer snaps than he's seen all year. Now, this graph's from PFF. All the snap data, all these charts are from PFF. And you're going to see that Saquon's down to 50% of the percentage of the Giants offense, which outside of the injured week that you had way back last year at the end of the season, really Saquon has been much higher than this consistently. So, I mean, it is a tough spot. I mean, if Saquon's only playing 50% of the snaps in a horrendous offense, I don't know if we were that excited to start him. And then going over to the New Orleans Saints side of things, Derek Carr actually has himself a fine day here with no Chris Olave, with no Michael Thomas. Still has 3 touchdowns, spreads it out. Crazy that Jimmy Graham's still scoring touchdowns. But Shaheed only has 4 targets, which is noteworthy because there are 28 total pass attempts in this offense. So really the only guy that's going to be startable here in games where Alvin Kamara is out, in games where Chris Olave is out, will be Alvin Kamara. Now, going over to the Atlanta Falcons, this was another disgusting game. This is something that did not go in our direction. Bijan Robinson I don't know. I mean, we drafted the wrong rookie running back. I was still ranking Bijan ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs as late as this week, which is clearly laughable. Bijan Robinson scales back. This is the fewest amount of snaps that we've seen him play since the weird game where he was sick, where he didn't play at all. The Cordell Patterson steals the rushing touchdown, or the receiving touchdown, whatever the hell it was. It was in the red zone. It was right at the goal line, and Patterson was in there and not Bijan. Bad weather, but ultimately the main thing is just the Bijan usage is not going anywhere. And then over on the Panthers side, I don't care about the receivers. You're not starting any of these receivers regardless. Really, the only thing is look at the running back usage, and Chuba does continue to dominate. He has 22 carries here out of the 36 total, but 4 of those came from Bryce Young. So really 22 out of 32. Now, going over to the Bears game, Justin Fields continues to be a bad real-life quarterback. Yes, I understand. Someone dropped the ball at one point, and a clip circulated Twitter, and people were excited about him. Justin Fields has 40 pass attempts, 166 passing yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 passing touchdown. He only has 30 rushing yards as well, which sucks because the reason you like Fields is just based off his rushing involvement for fantasy. Looking at the receiving volume, DJ Moore does dominate with the 30% market share number. It's just going to be tough to be productive when Fields is this bad in this game environment. It was a tough matchup, but look at the running back usage. They split 3 ways with Roshan having the majority of the backfield. But reality, you're not starting any running back here in Chicago. The only guy you can start is DJ Moore. Now, going over to the Browns, you have Flacco taking a step back from a real-life perspective where he throws 3 picks, but a ton of passing volume overall. You have both 100 receiving yards for Amari and David Njoku. And Njoku continues to dominate with 14 targets in this game. So I think based off the trend that we've had of David Njoku dominating with targets as of late, you have to kind of go through and rank David Njoku as the top 5 tight end going forward. And then look at the running back usage. You have Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, Pierre Strong, splitting the backfield 3 ways. We're going to remain not excited about any of these running backs here. Really hope you don't have to involve them. I'd much rather have someone like DeAndre Swift and a 2-man running back by committee in a much better offense. And also for DeAndre Swift in that game on Monday night, y'all can take the more than less than half a total yard on Underdog Fantasy if you used promo code FLOCK. Promo code FLOCK is also going to get you a 100% deposit match plus our rest of season fantasy football rankings and tiers. And you can check out all those Underdog pick'ems. Now going over to the Chiefs game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and McKinnon. The usage is a little bit funky just because you did have the McKinnon injury during the game. But nonetheless, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has 64 receiving yards and the receiving touchdown. McKinnon gets you a receiving touchdown and a passing touchdown. So, if you started either one of those guys, you're super happy with the results. The main storyline is Rashee Rice continues to dominate. Rashee Rice yet again sets a career high with his offensive involvement. He also has 9 targets, 9 receptions, 91 receiving yards, and the receiving touchdown. You finally have that locked and loaded wide receiver 1 for Mahomes right about the same time where Kelsey is falling. I'm sure that everybody saw the clip of Kelsey dropping the passing touchdown. I was a little bit frustrated when we saw that on Red Zone. But going over to the Patriots side of things, not too much to discuss. If you're looking at the running back usage, it's about the same. Ezekiel Elliott has absolutely everything. He has 46 out of 53 potential snaps, but it's still such a bad offense where it's very difficult to be excited about anybody here. So yeah, I don't want to come out and say, oh yeah, no. Horrible offense, not excited about anybody. Hunter Henry does have 9 targets, which is a season high, I believe. So that's a little bit exciting. Now going over to the Niners, I don't want to complain too much. I had CMC in a league completely go off for us and do exactly what he needed to. I had CMC in another league. I was going up against him, knocked us out of the playoffs, which is a little bit frustrating. Obviously, it's fantasy football. It's my fault for playing in so many leagues. What I just don't get is, y'all know I won 2 tournaments on Underdog. I won $150,000 on Underdog last year in our fantasy football tournaments. And I believe both of them I had Christian McCaffrey. At least one of them I drafted CMC. I know the $100,000 one we did. How did I not just learn to take CMC at the 101 this year? What the hell was I doing drafting Justin Jefferson ahead of Christian McCaffrey? I was drafting Jamar Chase over CMC in Underdog drafts. It's embarrassing. I wish I would have taken CMC. I wish I would have been smart enough to rank him out 1 overall. Brock Purdy continues to dominate. 4 passing touchdowns in this game. Obviously, there are some other storylines that we can go to here. The main thing is I'm just pissed that I did not draft CMC legitimately everywhere. Going over to the Cardinals here. Kyler Murray does have a little bit of rushing upside saving him. This is what we were talking about, saying you can't start Kyler as low in quarterback 1. He has 49 rushing yards, which is equivalent to, I believe, if we do some simple math, like another 150 passing yards. He has the passing touchdown. If you're looking at the receiving involvement, Trey McBride continues to dominate. McBride actually got hurt and banged up a little bit in this game too, so it could have been a bigger performance for McBride. James Conner has himself a great day, gets you the rushing touchdown. On top of that, James Conner does have 3 targets as well. So, I mean, exciting spot if you played Conner or McBride, but really the only thing is, I don't know, draft CMC at the 101 next year, Mason. Now, going over to the Rams, yeah, super excited about this game, right? I mean, you can go all in on Kupp, all in on Puka, and a great matchup against Washington. They both get there. Kupp's the one with the big game. That touchdown, just wide open. I believe that was a 60-ish yard touchdown. So, I mean, it could have been a little bit different if Puka was the guy that was wide open there. They both dominate with 8 targets. Kyron Williams was our running back 2 overall in our rankings this week. And Kyron Williams, 152 rushing yards. Has 7 targets as well, 5 receptions for 3 receiving yards. So I'm sure you're pumped if you started Kyron. And another thing that I just don't understand is how the hell did I just completely write off Kyron and not give him any kind of chance here? I don't know if I drafted Kyron Williams in a single league this season. Now, going over to the Commanders side of things, I thought Antonio Gibson was going to step in to be a 3-down workhorse. I thought no Brian Robinson meant Gibson was the guy. Gibson did have 5 receptions, 20 receiving yards. So, I mean, it's not like it was horrendous from a full PPR perspective, but no, he splits the backfield 3 ways with Chris Rodriguez and Jonathan Williams. I was not expecting Jonathan Williams to come out of nowhere. Terry McLaurin has himself a day. McLaurin has 12 targets, gets you the receiving touchdown, 141 receiving yards. Jacoby Brissett looks better than Sam Howell, which is very interesting. Sam Howell just looked atrocious in this game. Oh my gosh, he was so damn bad. Will be interesting if McLaurin is someone that we can comfortably rely upon going forward. I know Curtis Samuel was a player that people were excited about playing this week. I wish I had him higher in our rankings. I'm not super excited about Samuel going forward, but maybe McLaurin is viable. Now, going over to the Bills-Cowboys game, I don't know what we can take away from this game, right? I mean, it wasn't really a football game. The only thing that we can maybe say is, okay, James Cook is freaking him. I mean, James Cook is here. You still have some of these other running backs getting involved in the red zone. You have, Ty Johnson getting red zone looks. You have Latavius Murray stealing a rushing touchdown. You have Josh Allen with the tush push. But 25 carries for James Cook, 42 receiving yards, goes over 200 total yards and multiple touchdowns. Just nuts. Thinking the Dallas Cowboys defense was going to be good in this game. Thinking this was going to be a competitive game. To see the Bills go out there and essentially just do the Cowboys like the Niners did early in the year. I'm interested to hear what people are saying about the Dallas Cowboys in a couple days. I want to hear just what the overall talking points are of this Dallas team and if people are just completely out. I mean, Dak did not look good for a single second in this game. If you're looking at the running back usage, Pollard dominated the snaps, but it doesn't matter. Lamb gets there with a rushing touchdown. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you can take anything away from this game. I'm still probably starting Dak next week. Still starting Lamb. Still starting Pollard. Still benching everybody else. Maybe playing Ferguson depending on who you have at tight ends. But super, super weird game that I was not expecting at all. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Again, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you have not done so, hit that like button. Subscribe if you play fantasy football. I know you already are. But if you wanted to check out our Dynasty Fantasy Football channel, that's where we're going to be posting all offseason. This will probably be about the last week. I think we're going to post 2 more weeks on this channel, and then we're going to go dark. We'll have no more uploads. But if you wanted to check out our videos through the offseason, I'll be on the Dynasty Football Vlog video. I'll be uploading there pretty much daily. And yeah, you can just search it on YouTube if you wanted to find that YouTube channel. And then also, if you wanted to check out any of those Underdog pick'ems, you can get DeAndre Swift more than less than half a total yard with promo code FLOCK on Underdog. My favorite thing to pair that up with will be Dallas Goedert for fewer than 42.5 receiving yards as well. But I think that's all I have for you. Again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you and really hope you get to see out with the live stream on Monday night.